I'm Carmen. And I'm Janaya. We're your hosts for Soccumentary. That's right. And tonight you are our studio audience as we do our first ever live interview. Our guest is Teneasha Washington. She's the mother of two NorthStar players, Nyla and Amaya. They are students at Cornerstone Elementary and got started playing soccer through the NorthStar East Site Net, a partnership with Cornerstone School. Raise your hand if you're a student at Cornerstone or a parent of a Cornerstone student or teacher or staff. That's great. NorthStar loves Cornerstone. This season, she volunteered to help coach one of the teams. Maybe she had a little more time than usual this fall. She finished working on her PhD in public health from UAB. She earned a PhD while being a very active single mom, keeping her girls in activities like NorthStar Soccer. It's impressive. Coach Paul says we have to call her Dr. Washington just one time in honor of her hard work and great accomplishment, even though she only wants to be known as Teneasha, right? So that's a pretty good intro, I think. We want to give her lots of time to answer questions, so let's bring her on out. Welcome, Miss Teneasha Washington. How do you see NorthStar impacting other children involved?
Well, first off, girls, let me say thank you for having me on the first live show, right? Thank you for having me. Paul, I didn't see you come and help me with my mic, unfortunately. Okay. Can you give me that question again, Janaya?
How do you see NorthStar impacting other children involved?
Well, I think as we look around the room and we look at the children that are impacted already by NorthStar, so if you are a child that plays soccer with NorthStar, will you stand up? And I ask that because obviously it's impacting a lot of children, and this is just a small fraction of what NorthStar, the parents, the coaches, everybody instills into the children. It has been an honor for me to help out with the program because I really enjoy working with the children. I also think that it's very beneficial to engage with them at such a young age. Oftentimes, as you saw with the speakers that came up, the host, the phenomenal host. Some of them started in 2nd and 3rd grade, and now they've been involved with NorthStar for years and years. And I think that goes to Paul and his dedication to the program, and then everybody that works with it that can kind of garner these kids and get them to where they need to be so that they can be successful, not only in soccer, but also academically, also in any other things that they do in life.
Do you think it is important for the community?
Oh, the community. I think it's so important for the community. As we think about just children in general and everything that's impacting our lives, who has children in the room? Raise your hand. So, I mean, how often are your children engaged in sports? Or are they at home playing video games? Do you play video games, Janaya? Are you in the house? Because you're doing soccer, right? Right. So my point is being able at this point in life and in time is so important to be able to engage students outside of what they're normally used to. So, for example, a lot of the children that we serve would never really encounter soccer in anything that they do. They go to school, and if they have a chance to be a part of a team of something, maybe something that's more interesting, maybe basketball, the things that they know about the most. But when you think about soccer, A lot of times children are not exposed to soccer. And I actually enjoy it for my daughters because it is something that's different. And not only is it different, they're able to do it at a young age. How many elementary schools and programs engage with children that are first and second graders? And then, if I'm not mistaken, Paul, you go to 4, right? 4 years old? I mean, he's brave because I don't coach the 4-year-olds. Let me say that first. But I think it's so beneficial just for everything that we do. And when I think about coaching and helping out with the students, it's more about a personal relationship for me because I realize that a lot of these children are coming from backgrounds that may not be conducive to them being successful in their communities. So I think it's very important that we do identify and we help with them at a very young age to get them on the right path.
How do you see NorthStar impacting your own children?
Oh, my children. Whew. Well, I'll go back to saying that I adore Cornerstone because they are able to engage in a lot of different activities at a very young age. And that I think has made them more active in the sense of they're not necessarily the children that want to watch TV all day. They're used to being outside. They're used to being active. So that's what they typically do every day. My children will stay outside literally all day if they can at home. And I remember doing that as a child. Nowadays, people don't really get to do that. Children don't really get to do that as often. And I think once we start them at a young age like that, it's something that grows with them. So it becomes who they are rather than if they're not engaged and they can't participate in different activities. So my children, it's been very beneficial to them. I have one very active child. And so it's allowed her to kind of have an outlet to experience things and grow new friends, have new friends, engage with new people.
This was really great. We have time for just a couple of questions from the studio audience if there are any. I have been playing soccer for 6 years, and I used to like playing outside anyway. So I got used to bugs and mosquito bites. I've been playing soccer for 5 years, and someday I want to become a professional soccer player. Woo! Yes, Coach Ross?
Teneasha, so I know you talked a lot about the impact NorthStar makes on the kids and just what an incredible opportunity it is for them just in terms of getting active, the ministry opportunity and all that. But for anybody in the room that could potentially be interested in coaching, how has that experience been for you? And what is being the coach of your daughter, but also get to coach all these kids and make an impact in their life? What does that mean to you?
That's a good question, Ross. Actually, I coach with Ross, so it was a setup. So, actually, I was not coaching at the beginning of the season. So I'll give you a little background if I have time. So I happened to just walk up on Paul, Lisa and I actually, we were like, hey, I think we were behind, maybe the coach was running late. And we were like, do you need some help? We'll help you. And he was like, no, I have it. And why did I say that? After that, Paul, every time I was at the soccer field with my daughters at practice, would come up to me and say, hey, Teneasha, do you still want to help out? So that's literally how I got engaged with the program. But I will say that is something that's very important to me. That's something I enjoy the most, to be able to sit with the children and actually not just coaching them, but to see that it's so much going on around them outside of coaching. Because we think about coaching, we think about soccer. Yes, of course, we want them to learn the skills that they need to learn to be successful. But it's so many other things that they learn from playing on that soccer field. So they learn teamwork. They learn working with other people that may not look like them, that may not be in the same demographic as they are. They also learn, and we learn, how to interact with children, and especially children that may have a lot of different things going outside of the soccer field, and oftentimes they bring that to the soccer field. So being able to be patient with them, being understanding, and for me, being a face of, as Carmen and Janiyah mentioned, I am a single parent. So I understand other single moms that bring their children out and have fun, and this is an outlet for their children. So it's exciting to me not only to engage with the kids, but also the parents to identify, especially for women, like, what is it that you need? You can be successful even if you're a single parent, even if you're a single mom, even if you have so many other things going on in life. You can be successful. You can reach every milestone that you want to reach outside of what everybody, thinks of you as a statistic. You can do everything that everybody else can do. So mine is kind of twofold, Ross. Well, multiple fold. So one for the children and to interact with them and to make sure that they're all right, not just physically, but mentally as well. And then also to interact with parents to make sure that they're all right, because it's a heavy burden to be a parent, especially a single parent at that. And a lot of the times, our students are coming from single parent homes.
Any other questions? Thank you, Coach Teneasha and audience members. We have had a great time on our first ever live Soccumentary.